Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Hogarth's Global Astrology. Know your planets, know yourself, or know your nation, know yourself. The two are interchangeable. Okay, so I just wanted to come on with a little video, another kind of Wednesday surprise, and I'm going to try to make sure that I don't talk too quickly. I am recording this on my computer. As you know, I have a new computer and I'm going to be sharing some clips and stuff, so it's a lot faster. So hopefully there won't be any issues with the sound or too much lagging or stuff like that. If there is, again, then I'll look at my internet and see if maybe that might need changing. But so far, so good. All right, so I want to talk about a few things. Three. Well, it's going to be more than three topics, but two main topics. You guys would have heard me now, of course, talk a lot about what I'm referring to as the Great Awakening or slash Rude Awakening, which is an energy that is building and truly starts to reach its crescendo on March 29th, 2025. So at the time of creating this video, it is February 26th, 2025, and it is 6:25 p.m. UK time. I've just noticed that. How interesting, yeah? All those 25s. And so that is also, for those that don't know, we've got a stellium of eight planets. If you include Chiron, and there is a stellium of 8 planets happening in sidereal Pisces on the 29th of March 2025, when Saturn enters sidereal Pisces around about 6:30 p.m. UK time. Yeah, and you can just deduct off the time there for America. And this is what I'm referring to as when Saturn strikes the bong. Yeah. So if you remember, do you remember those the old Hollywood movies? And there was the guy who used to strike that big bong, that big chime. That's kind of what Saturn will be doing. But the energy, of course, is building. And as you know, I've been saying many people are going to be getting a reality check. Yeah. The term, of course, has gone round, which is this FOFA, which many of you will know, which is F around and find out. And what we're seeing, particularly across America, is an awareness now by many Trump voters, not all, but many Trump voters, where they've realized their mistake. Yeah. Mainly down to the fact that they're being punished and they didn't think they would be. But Duck L'Orange, yeah, Duck L'Orange is the swindler extraordinaire, and it's very interesting, isn't it, what people will say to themselves when faced with blatant truths. And it's very interesting as well what people are prepared to excuse or endorse if they do not feel like that they will be the recipients of such cruelty. And this is part of this great awakening, because a lot of people that voted the way that they did, look, this is a planet of free will. They are now coming to this awakening, yes, this awakening of what they've done. But it's very, very deep, because obviously it goes much, much further than that. And of course, the House have just passed. For those that don't know, the House has just passed. It was 217 to 215. So 217 yes to 215 no. But they voted yes for $4.5 trillion of tax cuts for the wealthiest people in America, whilst at the same time, simultaneously, also cutting $880 billion from Medicaid. And from what I understand, and what my American clients tell me, and what I've been seeing reported, is that Medicaid, of course, helps the most disadvantaged Americans with their medical care costs, and of course people with disabilities as well. And it's basically effectively being cut. Now, from what I understand at the time that I'm making this video, I think it still needs to go through the Senate before it can be passed into law, but we know what's likely to happen there, yeah, because the Republicans also have the Senate as well. So part of this great awakening slash rude awakening that I've been talking about is that a lot of people are finding out that this cruelty also applies to them, and maybe even more so, because the red states, of course, are the most reliant on Medicaid. SNAP is also being stopped, and SNAP, of course, is the food stamps. For those that don't know, who may not be American, SNAP is basically this program of food stamps, where for people who literally do not have enough money, they are able to get stamps to buy food. That's being cut too, along with, I think it's 330 billion or something like that being cut also as well from agriculture, which is growing food. See the theme here? So these are extraordinary times. So that date on March 29th is the partial solar eclipse. So that will deal with leaders and leadership. However, eclipses always appear in pairs. We normally have 4 each year, two, two pairs of eclipses. Sometimes you can get as much as 6 in a year. And that's rare. I think you can even get even more than that. I think it was 2023. Well, we had a lot of eclipses that year. Anyway, the solar eclipse and the lunar eclipse always happen 2 weeks apart. So if you have the lunar eclipse first, then 2 weeks later you have the solar. If you have the solar eclipse first, 2 weeks later you have the lunar. Yeah, this is how it works. So a solar eclipse is when the sun and the moon are together, yeah, effectively, and the moon's shadow is casting exactly over the sun. A lunar eclipse is when the moon is full, but it's the shadow of the earth that passes in front of the moon and gives it this reddish glow, yeah, which you can often be referred to as a blood moon. Solar eclipses deal primarily with leadership, CEOs, people of influence and power. Lunar eclipses deal with the people, the public. And this lunar eclipse that is coming up on March 14th, 2025, so 2 weeks before, of course, the March 29th one, is profound. And I was talking with a client, talking about her chart, talking about where the eclipses were falling, and it falls on her moon and actually falls on the sun and Pluto in my chart as well. So this is a very powerful eclipse for me as well. Wherever that eclipse line is happening, because it's at the moment the nodes of the moon are in sidereal Pisces and sidereal Virgo, and wherever the nodes are moving, that's where the eclipses happen. So this is profound. And when I was talking about March 14th, Margaret, so giving a shout out to Margaret, Margaret gasped, because I was saying, well, the moon deals with the public and etc. There needs to be some kind of uprising, or there could be some kind of uprising in America, some kind of strike or something like that. And then she was like, oh, March 14th, there is a big march going on. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share now, first of all, let me just show you the eclipse. So let me just do present. Connection speed seems to be all right, doesn't it? I'll watch this video back to make sure that it's not breaking up too much. So let's see. Come on. 1 second. Let me put here. Audio system needs to be able to share. What's going on? Oh, here we are. I didn't click on the thingy jig, that's why. Be careful, should you have a guest, they will hear themselves. Okay. And then let's click up on this. All right. So this, what you can see here is the chart. Oh my goodness, I've just noticed some. Oh, that is spooky. I hadn't even noticed that. Okay. This is the chart for the lunar eclipse, which is happening on the 14th of March 2025, and it will become exact around about 9:45 a.m. in Washington, D.C. And I was just focused on these two here. You see, this is the moon, and this is the south node of the moon, K2. So whenever the luminaries come in close contact with the nodes of the moon, this is it causes eclipses. Well, eclipses, partial eclipses, etc. But when I just looked at the ascendant, the what is rising, yeah, the rising sign at that time is Aries, and as you can see, Uranus is there in the first house. This matches the rising sign of the inauguration chart. Do you remember when I did the inauguration chart? I can't remember the videos. There's so many videos now, but it must have been maybe January 19th, 20th. It was either the day before, day of, or the day after Trump's inauguration. And I said, Uranus is in the first house. And I said, we're going to see stuff that has never happened before. Weird stuff. And remember, Uranus also deals with revolution, yeah, uprising, mad professors, eccentrics, people with crazy theories. But it also deals with AI, yeah, AI, technology, all of that kind of stuff. And I said, we're going to see some unusual stuff. I said also as well, we're going to have, because Aries is a sign of youth, I said, we might have some quite youthful and inexperienced people working for the government. Yeah, you guys will remember that. Doge, you know, most of them are 25 or younger. The press secretary for Trump, she's only 27. And of course, we had Elon's child, yeah, X, literally in the Oval Office. But remember this theme of AI. Now, it's remarkable because I was going to get up the inauguration chart, but in a way I don't have to because it's almost precisely the same, except that we can see here the buildup of planets here. Yeah, if you can see my cursor moving in the top left-hand corner. And here's Saturn down here in sidereal Aquarius, which of course will in 2 weeks after the lunar eclipse, it will move in to join this big stellium of planets here, along with the sun, along with the moon. Yeah. So, but you can see this energy is building. Now, this energy is building in the fourth house. Yeah, the fourth house of the USA chart. This chart is Aries rising. Yeah, for that lunar eclipse when it becomes precise. But in the USA chart, it is Sagittarius rising. You see, Sagittarius is down here in the bottom left, which means this big awakening is happening in the fourth house. And you remember I said it's going to be what? In the homeland, things to do with real estate. I did this, I was talking about this alignment before the fires in Los Angeles. I said, you know, this deals with real estate, things in the homeland. We had the big fires that have come, burnt everything down. Obviously, it's recovering. Look what's happening to the state. Yeah. Literally homeland security and all of that stuff. All of the jobs are being cut. The fourth house deals with the seat of power. Do you see how America's seat of power in the world is being shaken, etc., etc.? I don't want to keep repeating myself too much, but I just wanted to show you that, and the fact that this, when this lunar eclipse becomes precise, it is the same energetic vibration of when Trump was inaugurated and all of the cray that we have seen. So I just find that remarkable. So remember, this is happening March 14th, and the moon is the people. Yeah. So if I just minimize that down, if I just stop the share on that. So we see here the people, there is a realization emerging in the consciousness of the people. This is what eclipses do. And the energy of the eclipses starts a good few weeks before. I mean, it could almost be like a month before, really. That starts to build. So now what we are seeing now, what do the eclipses do? Remember, they are in routes and exit routes. I say they're like escalators. A lot of people leave on eclipses. A lot of people transition on eclipses. Obviously, not everyone is on Earth is waiting to leave at the eclipses, but they very often people do go. And let's not forget as well what I was been warning about with the Pope as well. I don't know if he's since improved yet, but he's in a sketchy place. Yeah. And this is happening in Pisces, which is the sign of spirituality. Yeah, spirituality can do with faith, religion, etc. And it is literally the sign of Christianity. Yeah, the two swimming fish. So of course, if we have an eclipse, which is also exit ramps, then we could be seeing, Pope Francis exit stage left, quite literally. But I've already said that in previous videos. But for those that haven't, I'm on the record as said that a week or so ago, I think, or maybe longer. I can't remember. Anyway, eclipses are revelations. What eclipses do, they bring something up and out of the shadows that we were not aware of before. So, of course, with the people that voted for Degrasse, yeah, I would use his KGB name, but I can see them as monetization issues whenever you mention these things about his connections with Russia. What was I saying? Oh, I lost my track of thought there. But that's it. Things come up out into the consciousness that weren't in the consciousness before. So, of course, with the lunar eclipse, it means things rise in the consciousness of the people that they were not fully aware of before. Now, of course, many of you watching, I would imagine the vast majority of you watching, we all knew what Degrasse was all about. Yeah, this wasn't rocket science. Yeah, wasn't rocket science at all. He made it very clear what he was going to do. But however, for about, let's say, about half of the US population, they were not aware of the consequences that were likely to come, and now they are becoming aware. So do you see how things are coming out of the shadows? The reason why eclipses are so important is because they can often highlight areas of our life where we may be unconscious about someone or something, or maybe something we suspect to be true, but maybe not quite sure, can suddenly be shown in full relief. So with the lunar eclipse, the consciousness is rising in the people where they're just like, oh my God. Even if they didn't vote for Trump, it doesn't matter. It's just people realizing this is a really serious situation. Then we get the solar eclipse 2 weeks later. So that is going to be dealing with the leadership, the fallout of what has happened in the lunar. So if I just do present again, I just want to share with you. So far, so good, eh? It seems like things seem to be sharing all right now without too much choppiness. So I'm going to show you 14th now. Yeah, so I'm just going to share this. So it says here we are, 14th now. Yeah, the movement to save democracy. So Americans, if you're watching, I would strongly suggest you sign up. It really is time. Happening in 15 days. So of course, I'm talking about 2 weeks before the lunar eclipse is due to happen. So so don't let democracy die on our watch. Yeah. So of course, this is the American way of doing it, but this is the 14th of March 2025. So this protest has been organized for March 14th, the day of the lunar eclipse. You remember I said the lunar eclipse, pardon me, lunar eclipses deal with the people. I have to calm myself down because the passion gets a bit too much sometimes, interferes with things. So I'll just read you out a bit here. We must act now. The United States is under siege from within, hijacked by an illegitimate president and administration, which I call a regime, and protected by a system unwilling to uphold our constitutional safeguards. Yeah. So the system refuses to act. Now the people must. Yeah. So we see here, and talking about historical moments here. And then it talks about the symbolism. Why March 14th or 13.14? So March 14th is more than a date. It is a symbol. It is a statement. It is a sign of our story, it says. 3.14 represents Section 3 of the 14th Amendment. The Constitutional demands that those who engage in insurrection from holding office be barred from office. Yeah. So we know, of course, Duck Orange. Yeah, we all know this. We've all seen it, and they still went there anyway. 13.1314 represents the power of the circle. Is that pi or something? I'm sorry, forgive me. The universal symbol of infinity, continuity, unbreakability. Just as a circle has no weak or unequal points, the movement will have no breaks, no fractures, no surrender. It goes on to say, on March 14th, we peacefully flood Washington, D.C., encircling the institutions of power, demanding action and making our presence undeniable. Our next location will be announced in the coming weeks. So, of course, this is one of what will likely be many. So March 14th has also been designated as a National Strike Day. We encourage workers from around the country to join us in DC. So we see here, so if I do the, and I just get back to StreamYard, do you see? It's happening. Yeah. The awakening is gaining momentum. And I've been saying for a while, I said, Americans, you are going to have to rise up to save yourselves from what is unfolding in front of our eyes. Yeah. And the eclipses are generating that. What I'll also weave in as well, let's not forget as well what I was talking about in terms of the star Algol. All this time, Uranus has been conjunct that star. And isn't it interesting how this theme of betrayal has been playing out across the whole world? Obviously, Ukraine feels betrayed by the United States, and basically they have been betrayed by the United States. But apparently they're working on, well, not apparently, they're working on some kind of mineral deal. It's not been signed yet because, of course, Zelensky wants some protections, understandably, so that Russia doesn't just rest and reinvade again. Obviously, Russia is not going to want that, and of course, their agent is gonna have to, try and give them what they want. Yeah. But at the same time, he wants the mineral assets, etc., and all of this kind of stuff. Yeah, because Duck Orange is so transactional. So you see, there's that. But also, as well, for the people that voted for Trump, they are now feeling betrayed because they thought the cruelty wasn't going to happen to them. Yeah. It was a kind of like own the libs style type job. Yeah. But this great awakening and the eclipse, what was unconscious is now in the conscious sphere, where it's now clear to them, oh my goodness, we're being hurt. And now they're kicking up a stink about it. Yeah, better late than never. But it's just so horrific. Yeah, you can imagine these cuts that are coming for the people, and the majority impacted by these cuts and these policies are the people in the red states. My God, the irony. So that was 14th now. So you can see how that energy of the eclipse is correlating with the behaviors within America. Now, of course, this also applies around the world, of course. But the actual eclipse line, if I actually show you on my next share, I will show you, what's this? I will show you, oh, how about 1 minute, pardon. Let me do the share first. I'm going to show you where the eclipse shadow is falling. So you should be able to see this now. So this is Sky and Telescope, solar and lunar eclipses in 2025. Some nice imagery there, things explaining how eclipses work. In Vedic astrology, we call this Rahu and Ketu. Yeah, these shadowy points, we call them Rahu and Ketu. or north and south node of the moon. So there we are, talking about lunar eclipses, how it works, the ascending eclipse and the descending eclipse. And it gives, this is very, very good, actually. It gives some good stuff. And here, of course, are the dates. So we see here March 14th, lunar eclipse. And here it's saying 6:59 universal time, North and South America, Europe, Africa. Yeah, this is where. And if you see here, March 14th, lunar eclipse. This year's first eclipse is a winner. Not only is this the first total lunar eclipse visible anywhere since 2022, it will be timed perfectly for North and South America. How appropriate! Because wherever the shadow falls, we say in astrology, in ancient astrology, Babylonian as well, wherever the shadow falls, that is where the most action, as it were, is happening. And you guys can see here for yourself. There it is. Do you see? Visible through it, the entirety of all of North America, including half of South America as well. We'll see it in the full shadow, and half of Alaska, all of Canada. How appropriate. Do you see how this kind of stuff works? So I thought I would just share that there. So let me just do the stop share on that and then get back. So you could see, yeah, that path of totality. So when I was making my predictions about what we could expect from this Trump administration, you guys know that I said we're going to see some weird stuff. We're going to see stuff that we've never seen before. Yeah, when I did that inauguration chart video, which would be a good few weeks back now. And you guys may or may not have seen this, but this is extraordinary. And I don't know if you guys have seen this video. This is Trump's AI Gaza video, where he shares his vision for Gaza, complete with bearded belly dancers. You can't make this stuff up. You just can't make this stuff up. And there's also CGI of what appears to be Elon Musk and Netanyahu and Trump all together with golden statues and all this stuff drinking. I'm just going to play it for you. So I'm going to share it, present again, and then we'll discuss it a little bit, because it's just so beyond the beyond, as I would say. This is Trumpocalypse. Do you remember that word that I created a few years ago? This is Trumpocalypse. Everything we're experiencing now and seeing in the world is Trumpocalypse, this time on ketamine. Yeah, first 2016 was Trumpocalypse. This is just on steroids. So let me just share screen, and then where is the one? Here we are. I'm going to share, and you should be able to see this now. So this is it, and the sound should be enabled. And I'm going to play it. It's not very long. Now, this was posted by the Evening Standard. Oh, no, it says the Lion Standard. Sorry. It says Trump posts jaw-dropping AI video of his Gaza Riviera featuring Netanyahu and belly dancers. All right, I'm just going to play it for you.
Set you free, bringing the light for all to see. No more tunnels, no more fear. Trump Gaza is finally here. Trump Gaza shining bright, golden future, a brand new light. Feast and death, the deal is done. Trump Gaza, number one. Trump Gaza shining bright, golden future, a brand new light. Feast and death, the deal is done. Trump Gaza, number one.
Right. And it's just, I mean, what does one say? Yeah. And I hope the sound played okay on that. And I'm going to watch this video back to make sure that everything is all good. But what can one say? It was bad enough when he was talking about shipping all of the Gazans out, which would effectively be ethnic cleansing, yeah, under the international codes, Geneva Convention, etc., all of that stuff. And then it's something else to do a CGI video what and we've also need to remember as well, he was selling his MAGA hats as well, from the Oval Office, and then talking about selling his gold card. So he says, well, we have a green card, a gold card will only cost you, $5 million. And when someone says, yeah, but what if oligarchs, Russian oligarchs, would they be open to them as well? It's like, yeah, I know some good ones. Yeah, they're welcome. So, and this is what I meant by Uranus deals with eccentrics, weird stuff. He's got his virtues as well. But do you remember I said, this administration or this regime is going to do stuff that has never been seen before. This is just, it's hard to even find language. Basically, we're looking at this in the UK and around the world. And a good word is everyone is agog. Yeah, agog, where you're even struggling to even find language. So my kind of closing message is, as this energy builds, and when Saturn goes into sidereal Pisces, it doesn't mean the energy is over. It just means that it means like the Great Awakening has arrived. Yeah, the majority of people will be awake. Those that are still going along with this are just the absolute diehard who will, jump off a mountain for duck l'orange. But as you see, with his approval ratings plummeting, Elon's approval ratings plummeting, Tesla's stock going down. Now, obviously, now I said, look, in other videos, I said Elon may sacrifice Tesla so he can keep the government projects and stuff like that. Yeah, he's, and he's off his face on ketamine anyway, which is well known. But when I say, for the American people, that the ones that can save America now has to come from the people, because they've just passed that bill, giving themselves $4.5 trillion in tax cuts. I think they've also going to elevate the debt ceiling, another 4 trillion, while at the same time cutting everyone's social security. Well, they've not done social security yet. I certainly hope they don't. Yeah, particularly because that will affect a lot of people, and Americans have paid into that. Yeah, you've paid into that your whole careers. It's your money. Yeah, if they cut that, anyway, I don't even want to go there. But imagine for those people on Medicaid, yeah, on food stamps, what are they going to eat? Or everyone's medicines and stuff like that has gone up. Prices, of course, haven't come down. Petrol's going to be going up. This is before even all of these stuff with the tariffs and everything like that has kicked in. So this Trump presidency really is truly Trumpocalypse or Trumpocalyptic. And what it's going to take, because the cronies around him are so morally bankrupt and debauched, that they would do this, that they would give themselves these egregious tax cuts. It means it has to come from America. And you know how I was saying with the alcohol can talk about losing your head. It can also mean things like this, like going crazy, doing crazy stuff. Yeah, what we're seeing from this video that I showed you, I hope it showed, is crazy. Yeah, this is bonkers. Algol can talk about that, but it can also talk about the deposition of leaders as well. It can even talk about assassination attempts as well, which of course I've gone into detail on other videos. Yeah, when Uranus crossed over the star the first time in the summer of 2024, Biden had to step down. Trump almost got assassinated, crossed back over the star in its retrograde motion on the 5th to 6th of July, of November 2024, the US election. We see what a betrayal that was. Yeah. A lot of those people voting didn't realize they were not only betraying their fellow citizens, but also themselves. That's now becoming clear, isn't it, as the eclipse develops, and it's going to cross one more time around about the 15th of April. So one of the things that I think that could be part of this civil strike is that maybe the blue states may not pay their federal taxes. Could be something like that. Or maybe US citizens will be urged not to pay their taxes. Because I mean, they slashed everyone anyway at the IRS. So slashing everyone at the IRS just at the time when everyone's kind of getting their taxes in. Oh, that's intelligent, isn't it? So, and there's murmurings of things. So Margaret was telling me about Janet Mills, who is the governor. Oh, is it Maine? Oh my gosh, did I put the 1 second? Governor. I've just put Governor Janet Mills. Thinking of crumbs. Forgive me. I think it's Maine, but forgive me if I'm wrong on that one. Couldn't find the no, I thought I put it there. Anyway, so I think there's going to be themes like that. Not only mass walkouts, but people deciding not to pay tax. Maybe the blue states are just like, you know what, red state, we're just not going to give you the money, which will of course be even more devastating because that's what the red states rely on. They're all effectively subsidized, you know, and I think a lot of people in by the blue states, and a lot of people in red states are actually starting to realize that. I was also just watching something on YouTube where Gavin Newsom of California, because Trump scrapped the EV subsidy, which I think was $7,500, something like that. He wanted to get rid of that, and Elon was happy to have that happen because it was going to be less competition for him, and he was in with the government, etc. Well, Gavin Newsom has decided to produce a state level subsidy for electric vehicles. So Duck L'Orange can't do anything about that. And apparently Elon is furious because his Tesla cars are excluded from that, so people can buy other EVs instead. In many ways, the best way to actually upend this, to halt this, is to hit them where it hurts, in the pay packet. And you've heard me talk about no buy Mondays, of course, on my channel. It seems to have caught on as an idea. I'm sure I'm not the only one, but you know, I mentioned it, and I'm seeing it spoken about in a lot of places. Let's just put it that way. And but I think there might be actual major boycotts where people will literally maybe once a month just not buy stuff. Literally just not buy stuff. I mean, people can barely afford stuff anyway. But this energy is building and it is intensifying, guys. So I just wanted to share that with you. It's not going to be a super long video. I think I'll leave it there. That's 37 minutes already. Please, of course, don't forget to like and subscribe and press the bell notification. It really helps the channel. About 40% of you that watch my channel aren't subscribed. So, you know, subscription is free, like this content that you're having. So if you wouldn't mind subscribing, that would be great. I will leave it there. I think I've covered the ground. These are the energies that are building up, but it's all getting very real now, isn't it? All right. I'm going to go for now. Hopefully that video sound played all right and we were all good. All right. Big love. And I'll see you tomorrow for Thursday Fry Up, whenever you're catching that show. Cheers.